So our first speaker, Professor Jonathan Krasno. He's from the Political Science Department in SUNY Binghamton. He does research on public opinion, congressional elections, campaigns, campaign financing. He's the author of several books, numerous articles, and he's an active participant in the ongoing debate about campaign finance reform. He's been an expert witness in federal trials in California, Colorado, Missouri, and Washington, D.C. So he's going to give us some background about this issue, talk about why it's important to us, and he's particularly focusing on what's happening at the national level. Dr. Krasno.
So, let's see.
You want the lights down?
There it goes.
Oh.
There we go. So, I'm going to do a favor to my university and just tell you all that we rebranded it. About 20 years ago, they invested in calling it Binghamton University. So it's no longer SUNY Binghamton. Now that will all change. At any rate, I can talk about all that stuff that she said I was going to talk about, but I actually have a different slideshow planned, which is a kind of historical rendering of what the hell is going on and how we got to where we are. And so I'm calling this Understanding Our Crazy Campaign Finance System. I'm going to give you a different introduction about myself. All that stuff she said is true, but it's also true that back in grad school I wrote a piece with a friend of mine about the effect of campaign spending in House elections. And we showed something that no one else had ever been able to discover before, that incumbent spending actually mattered, which seems like pretty big. Of course it does, but that's not what political scientists thought. And because we had come up with this conclusion, we also did some more analysis and discovered that campaign spending limits actually would help challengers in some cases. And so we advocated for some campaign spending limits. And then because of that, I was pretty much the two of us were pretty much the only people in all of academia to make this claim. I got invited to represent these ridiculous ideas to a blue ribbon panel of political scientists who are recommending policy.
Excuse me, sir, when you drop your voice, we can't hear.
Could you boost the volume a little so we
Sure,
hear you better?
I can talk loud. I thought I was talking loud.
Thank you.
So at any rate, I ended up being invited to represent these crazy ideas that no one else would believe. And the reason I know this is because the person who invited me, the dean of campaign finance at the time, told me that they were crazy and that no one would buy them, but he felt obligated to invite me to be part of this group. Oh, I don't know, just for shits and giggles or something. So while I was in this group, I discovered some allies, and among the allies I discovered was this guy named Frank Soroff, who was the dean of political party scholars at the time. And so Frank and I ended up developing a series of more offbeat ideas. And in the end, he and I and whatever, there were about 2 or 3 or 5 of us who were the only political scientists in the country who were essentially advocating for any sorts of regulations on pretty much anything related to campaign finance. And so the result, this is the 1990s, and so the result of this is that I became sort of the go-to person for governments who are trying to defend their campaign finance regulations. And this says more about everyone else than it does about me. Everyone else was in a different place at the time. And so